Things look different out here. There's a cell tower now instead of the big grain elevator. There's Joe's trees marking Joe's place there. Somebody's out mowing.
I'm here with Mike Lidican. He's the operator, the farmer on the farm, and we're going to measure the barns today and see about maybe getting some individuals to recycle some of the wood that's in them. And so we're just going to measure the barns and see what kind of material they're made out of and see whether there's an opportunity for them to be of use to somebody else.
Well, I'm here with you guys, and I was mowing the farm here, and it's just kind of nice that everybody's interested in the farm, and it's just nice to be here. It's a wonderful farm, and I'm just very fortunate.
Both very fortunate to work with the family.
And
thanks, Ron and Mike.
The feedlot out there, they used to have mostly hogs. I don't think they had a whole lot of cattle, just a few cattle right here, but they used to farrow some sows and some little pigs out there, and we're still picking up some residue from the hog lots and that. And
I was only taken in the barn by Aunt Mary a few times, and it was really special. And inside the barn were saddles. The saddles were just still hanging there, and she even would tell me this was Grandpa's saddle, and this was whatever. And they were, all the horse stuff was still in the barn.
Horses that they farmed with, or for
and Aunt Mary remembered she used to go out in the fields with the horses and actually farm with the horses herself. She did. And they had milk cows. And when I was a child, I used to go through that door that's not all broken like it is now. And inside that door, Joe, who lived down the road in that place that's torn down, Joe used to milk the cows, and there were all these little cats, and he had this little flat tin. I'd love to see if that little flat tin was still around. He'd squirt the milk, and then the little kittens and cats would line that round, flat, kind of curvy tin, and they would drink the milk. And Joe taught me how to milk the cows. And the cows used to have like right out here, there was a lot, and so 1 or 2 cows were there. And one time a bull, I was wearing red, and I was probably in about 7th grade, and he saw my red sweater, and he got really mad, and he started charging, but I was on the other side of the fence. I remember that.
I didn't know that about the horses, but when I was just dating Brenda, they used to have a fairing house out there.
What's a fairing house?
That's where sows, the mama pigs, have their little ones.
Well, Grandma kept a slop bucket over here near that pump, or right on the corner of the sidewalk, and she'd fill it with all the leftovers, and then Joe would carry the slop bucket, and I used to like to watch the stuff like biscuits and swirling in this milk and gravy, and she'd take it out here, and they would just toss that into the trough, and then I loved to watch the pigs. They were and they lived behind there, that's all I know.
A silo that was back there.
There's a large silo back there, and then a large concrete horse tank to where probably when the horses would come up that they would drink there.
There must have been 4 different wells right in here. Do you remember those?
Well, I know there was a well here, and my grandma had a big garden out here, and they used to go out and pump water out of this particular well back here.
See the silver tub? There's a well there, and I didn't realize there was a well there.
Where's the silver tub?
Right there.
I wonder if any of that water's any good in these pumps.
I don't know about that, but it's been sitting so long.
My mom was born window that back room, and when Aunt Alice told me that she didn't know her mom was pregnant in those days, we talked about it. She came in one morning, and her mom, my grandma, was laying in the bed, and she says, "Come meet your baby sister." And she handed Alice, who was much older, she was the oldest child, my mom. And she was real surprised, and all of a sudden she had my mom, the baby sister.
Just had natural birth right here?
They were all born up there in that room.
There's an abundance of water up in this area, but the water quality is very, very hard. It has a lot of iron in it. And so most of the houses right now are on rural water because it's a lot softer and it doesn't discolor their water.
some really wide boards here.
Well, it would take an enormous amount of labor to salvage these.
Yes.
But these are oak.
Solid oak beams.
Yeah, they're like 2x8s. There's like a 4x4.
Amazing.
And then these are real 2x8s right there, where like today those would be like 1 3/4 by 7.5.
And there's a lot of them, and they're all oak.
I think those are oak there. The way they'll see how the nails are bent, they couldn't drive nails in them.
Mm-hmm.
So they had room for 6 or 7 head of horses.
Yeah.
Well, they really did have them for working the fields.
So it's a real historic Centennial Farm that we're in here. I bet that hay is from like the 1930s or something.
Oh, I don't know if it's that old. I'd say the way the nails are bent,
Right.
that's oak studs.
That's oak. This is oak. Yeah. Yeah, we'd probably burn the structure, you know, because the reason for that is if you were going to haul this away, it would just be cost prohibitive. I mean, to tear it down and to burn it and to clean up what's left would be a third of what it would cost to go to a landfill. And then the question is, you know, I mean, you're filling a landfill with wood, and that's not very cost effective either, you know. Now, I mean, we fill our landfills, but boy, we hate to fill them with building materials. Let's put it that way.
The houses has to go to the landfill because
the shingles.
Yeah.
Smaller ones are off of lighter medium. Well, the big chute here is off of a draft horse. This part right here would go up against his foot like this, and the nails would come through here and be nailed from the other side. This right here is to give him traction, so that when he's on he can work harder because he's got a little bite with the front of it, and then when the horse when this gets wore down a little bit like this is, they'll put another set of shoes on him so that he do his work real good. This would be for a pony probably.
Pet pony.
Yeah. And this one here would be for a medium-sized horse, probably to draw a buggy or pull a buggy or be a riding horse or something like that. But probably off not a draft horse or a work horse that way.
All right.